Hi, this is Sara from SaraRanAwayWithASpoon.com. Off to a little bit of a late start. Sorry about that. I had some tech issues. My computer would not record live. Anyway, today I am here to make some candy bark, and it's so easy and fun to make. So we'll get to that in a minute. Just let me give you a little bit of background on who I am and what I do. I'm Sara from SaraRanAwayWithASpoon.com, and I help kids ages 10 to 15 with online baking classes. I teach them how to gain life skills in the kitchen, and by doing so, they gain more confidence in themselves and their skills. And the reason today I'm making candy bark, I made it earlier in the year. I think it was around, I know when it was. It was around the holidays, and both of my grown children were home, and I did it as part of a class while I was filling in some time while something was chilling or baking. And oh my goodness, my own grown children had so much fun with this, and it is 2 ingredients, super easy. Well, ingredients depends on what you're going to put in it, but it is super easy, and you can really use anything that you have on hand. So what you're going to need is chocolate, and you're going to need a lot of it. So I have this bowl, I just melted it. This is white chocolate, and I'm going to make bark. I'm either going to make, depending on how this spreads out, one side of it is going to be apricots and dark cherries and pistachios, and the other side I think is going to be Oreos and sprinkles. I will do only one side if it ends up being too little. I thought I had more chocolate on hand than I do. So your first step is you want to melt your chocolate. And to do that, you're going to want to cut your chocolate into even sized pieces or equal sized pieces, and then microwave it. And the rule of thumb when you're melting chocolate is not to burn it. So put it in for 1 minute, give it a stir, and if it's not melted, then put it back in the microwave for 30 seconds at a time. And I even lowered the power in my microwave. So I did this at 1 minute full power, and then I lowered it to 30 seconds at half power. And I needed to do it for a couple more turns. It depends how much chocolate you use, and it depends on how powerful your microwave is. So to your melted chocolate, you're going to want to add a teaspoon of vegetable oil, or you could melt coconut oil so you have a teaspoon. So I'm going to just measure out a teaspoon, and I'm going to do it not directly over my bowl in case it comes flying out. And I'm going to add this in. This will help so that it doesn't get all white and dry with the chocolate, especially if you're using another kind of chocolate. So I can't tell you again, this is so easy. So really what you need to do is I'm going to take my tray. I have a tray with parchment paper, and I'm just going to pour it out. Now if you want it to be fancy, you could draw a line on your, or square, or rectangle on your parchment paper and turn it over so the pencil's on the bottom side. But basically you just want to pour your melted chocolate. Yeah, that's what I thought. I did not have as much chocolate as I thought. Onto your tray, and then give it a little bit of a spread, but not too much because you don't want this to be super thin. So it's not like frosting a cake, but just spread it out, and I'll give you a quick look. Try and make, when you break it up, you're going to want it to have no thin pieces. I'll show you, there's a little swirl on here. So you want it to be all in one shape, and I don't know if you can see, whoops, now it's all over the place because I tipped it. Don't tip your pan. Maybe tip your camera, but not the pan. And then you're just going to coat it with whatever you want. And I ask, leave a comment. Tell me what you're going to make. What excites you? What makes you think of, I think that would be delicious as a combination. So I have some dark sweet cherries that I'm gonna toss on. I'm gonna just probably do the fruit for this one. We'll see. And then I want some dried apricots, so I cut up some dried apricots. Yeah, this is just gonna be one. And there's no real measurements, just how much you like and what you think would be good on that day. I'm gonna add a few more cherries since I thought maybe I would put the Oreos, but I think that's a little much. So another thing that you could do that's fun is you could do a layer like this, chill it, and then add another layer on top. So if you were doing, say I did the Oreos and sprinkles on the white chocolate, I could melt dark chocolate, put that on top, and after it chilled and it was completely cold, and do a second layer. So there's that option too. So many different options. I'm gonna just cut a few of these nuts up. They're cut, but they're a little big for me. So, yeah, this looks a little bit more summery than the ones I did before. They look definitely like the holidays with the red and green sprinkles, and I don't remember what my kids put on them. Definitely the sprinkles. I had some candy around, so I know they probably put peanut butter cups. They like peanut butter cups. I'm trying to remember. So what we're gonna do once you put on your toppings is chill it, and it can go in the refrigerator, chill for about an hour. And then when it comes out, you can either cut it with a knife or you can break it with your hands and make it a little bit more rustic. Either works. And like I said, this couldn't be easier. You could use milk chocolate, you could use dark chocolate, you could use semi-sweet chocolate. I wouldn't recommend using the chocolate wafers that you can melt to make easy melting chocolate. That just, to me, doesn't taste that great. So go with a chocolate that you think tastes really good. And I'm using some salted pistachios, so these pistachios will have add a little bit of salt to the sweetness of the white chocolate. And white chocolate can be tricky. Sometimes it can seize on you when you melt it, so be really careful when you're melting it not to overdo it, and be sure to stir it and see if your bowl gets some residual heat and can melt it a little bit before putting it back in the microwave. If you didn't have a microwave, you could use a double boiler to melt your chocolate. That would mean you would put the chocolate in one pan and some water underneath it and let it steam up and melt the chocolate. If you're using that method, just make sure that the bottom of the pan on top never touches the water. And if you get any water in your chocolate, that will also make it hard. And if you're working and your chocolate starts to get hard, you can always pop it back in the microwave for a short bit, maybe 15 seconds. So I'm just cutting up a few more pieces. That one went flying. I'll have to get it when I'm done. Some of these look like they're burnt. Not trying to put on the burnt shells here. Can you see what I'm making here? So that's what it looks like. Let's see it so well. Let me pull it back and see if you can see it. There you go. You can see it like that. So that's my tray. And I'm going to put this in a refrigerator probably for about an hour, maybe a little longer, depending on how long it takes to chill out. And I have made white chocolate bark with pistachios, dark cherries, apricots, and that was so fast and so easy. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you want to learn more, visit my website at sararanaway.com, and remember to leave your comments below about what combinations you would make. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.